Hey guys, welcome back to the Clean Cuisine. I am so excited about today's video because people will literally freak out when they taste these fries and realize they are not fried at all, but they are actually baked. They are so tasty, crisp on the outside with the nice soft potato on the inside. Anyway, I could eat a whole sheet pan of them. So I'm just going to go ahead and show you exactly how I cut the potatoes. I do believe that russet potatoes work best for when you're trying to do a French fry. So I just cut the little tip off the bottom there, and I'll go into more detail with my last potato to show you guys, but I'm just going to go ahead and cut the ends, cut those lengthwise, and then cut my center pieces. And you want to try and keep these as consistent as possible. It's always important when you're trying to cook a vegetable or anything for that matter, at the same time, consistency is really key. It's going to allow everything to cook evenly all at the same time, so you don't have some hard pieces or some soft pieces, but that's what they're going to look like. I'll just show you exactly the size that I cut mine to. Feel free to cut them as thick or as small as you want. The cooking time will vary though. So I went ahead and cut up all three. I'm just going to show you again my last one. You can see I just cut off the very bottom tip of the potato, so I've got a flat surface to stand it upright. And then I'm just going to take my sharp knife and slice it down into the thickness that I want. And then I'm going to take the two end pieces again and just cut those quickly and stack the middle pieces because I can cut those all together. This literally comes together in, it took me probably 3 to 5 minutes tops to cut all these. And the more you do it, the faster you'll get. So you can see that's about the thickness I have mine. I just stack them all together, run my knife through them several times to get the size cut that I want, and you're done. So there you go. Meanwhile, next to me I've got 2 sheet pans that I've lined with aluminum foil, and I've sprayed. It's important not to forget that step. You want to spray them because these, the starch from the potatoes will stick to your pan otherwise. And I always use aluminum foil because the cleanup is just so much easier, even though you can see my pans have been through a lot. So anyway, it is important again with French fries, when you're trying to do a French fry, you want to have enough space that they all can kind of spread out and not touch each other. You definitely don't want to throw them in a lump on top of each other because they'll just get too soft. They'll steam as opposed to getting that nice crispy outside. So I've drizzled them with 2 to 3 tablespoons of olive oil on each sheet pan, and I'm simply going to just put some cracked pepper and some sea salt over the fries. I'm going to show you 2 different flavors that I use for my family. The first one is just kind of an Italian blend seasoning that I put on top of my fries. Probably use the equivalent of anywhere from a half to a full teaspoon on each sheet pan, or at least for this particular sheet pan. And then you're just going to get your hands dirty. This is great if you've got kids. They love to do this. Have them wash their hands first. But go ahead and just, you want to coat the olive oil as much as you can and the seasoning, the salt, pepper, the Italian seasoning on each French fry. And then you're going to do your best. Like I said, you don't want them overlapping. You're going to try and spread them out as much as possible. And this is, again, going to allow them to get that crispness that you want, that you're expecting, that kind of snap from a French fry, as opposed to just being kind of limp and soggy and sad. So Italian seasoning is what I used for my first sheet pan. And for the second sheet pan, I am going to use a garlic powder along with my salt and pepper. And this is, again, you probably use about a half teaspoon to a teaspoon, just depending. I just kind of sprinkle mine on. You can guesstimate. And then I used a product, if you have not tried this before, it's nutritional yeast. We're doing the Whole30, so dairy is out. So, you know, before I may have just sprinkled some Parmesan cheese on top, but this actually kind of takes the place of that Parmesan cheese. Nutritional yeast, if you have not checked it out, you need to check it out. It's plant-based. It's terrific, especially if you don't want to do dairy. It will give you that Parmesan-y kind of flavor. So believe it or not, this happened to be the family favorite out of the 2, and I had to agree. I love these. This is what I'm going to use next time for sure. Italian's always good, but this just had that kind of garlicky, cheesy flavor. So, so good. So anyway, again, I'm just kind of space them out so they kind of have their own room to cook in the oven. I have my oven already preheated to 425 degrees. You want to get it nice and hot. Again, that's going to allow those potatoes to get that nice crisp outside, but still cook on the inside. Now on to the burgers, the easiest burger you will ever make. So I start with a pound of grass-fed beef. I picked this up actually out of the freezer section in Trader Joe's. For whatever reason, it costs $1.50 less if it's frozen as opposed to fresh. So I am going to go ahead and pinch this pretty roughly into 4 even pieces. Now again, it was frozen, so don't be alarmed by the different color in the beef. It doesn't mean it's any less fresh, it just means it thawed out in my refrigerator. So I've got my 4 patties here. I'm just going to press them down, and then we're going to give them a quick topping of salt and pepper. That's it. This beef is super tasty. It does not need much more than that. I have made a million different burgers, and I've used all different kinds of seasoning, but believe it or not, a little salt and pepper makes these things perfect. You'll see it gets a nice caramelized crust on the outside from the hot pan, and of course you can add all the toppings that you want, make it as more flavorful as you can get it, but salt and pepper will go a long way here. So I've got a grill pan that I've got on medium-high heat. You can see it's smoking a little bit. And I did give it a little bit of cooking spray with some coconut oil on there. You can also use a little drizzle of olive oil just to make sure it doesn't stick. But I'm going to go ahead and put all 4 patties down, and I'm going to leave these sit for about 3.5 minutes to 4 minutes, just depending on how you like your burgers cooked. Mine were about a medium plus. My girls don't like it very pink, but I do, so we compromise. So you can see after about 3.5 minutes, it's got that nice crust, yet still juicy on the inside. So we're gonna let these go for another 3.5 to 4 minutes on the opposite side, and this is what they look like. Delish. Meanwhile, our fries are also coming out of the oven, again at 425 degrees for about 25 minutes. If you need to crisp them up a little bit more, throw them under the broiler for a minute or 2. Just look at these. I'm not kidding you. When I said I can eat a sheet pan, I can eat a sheet pan of these. I also have a great recipe for some ketchup that is totally sugar-free, refined sugar-free, coming up soon. Hope you guys enjoyed. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for future health